G'day YouTubers, Liam Fitzpatrick here. I've compiled a bit of a highlights reel of some old footage that never actually made it to YouTube. So I've put it all together and done a little top 10 countdown. Coming in at number 10 is this giant trevally. Now this capture took place off of the rocks at Clue Point at the mouth of Pancake Creek back in about 2005. As you can see here, I've had a few sherbets with the boys. We got to the campsite and were greeted by a bit of rain, so most of the day we sat around playing drinking games. By the time I made it down to the rocks, you can see there by the state I'm in, I was slightly inebriated, but yeah, still managed to pluck that GT out of the water with that popper in my hand there and did this little drunken spiel to camera. It was a bit of fun. Probably don't condone the actions of drinking and going near the ocean on rocks and stuff barefoot, but hey, we're all young and dumb once. Alright, moving on to number 9. Now you'll notice that last clip and this one have got no sound. I originally did edit these up and made them into a file and they had copyrighted music on them. So what I'm using here, I've just turned the sound down on them so I don't go upsetting the powers to be at YouTube. But yeah, this session takes place after the big floods in southeast Queensland, 2010, 2011 I think it was. This is the South Pine River on the north side of Brisbane. Now, these bass were stacked up in this system for a while after those floods, and we made the most of it. This is the first session we had in there when we mounted the old handy cam on a pole on the front of the canoe, made our own little GoPro kind of setup. Yeah, we got a good amount of footage. Never really did much with it. Probably the best thing that came out of this session filming is this bit that's about to happen right here. Now, someone lost their balance, someone did something silly, no one's ever owned up to it, we all blame each other, but hey, it was pretty damn funny, and we nearly swamped that whole camera system before we even got to use it again. Alright, number 8. Now, this takes place on Mornington Island, up in the Gulf of Carpentaria. I'm up here with the boys, I'm on spotter's duty right now, they're in the water spearfishing, so I'm clearly keeping an eye out for crocs and sharks. Actually, no, I'm chasing trout, shallow water bommy style, 30-pound spin gear, 5-inch plastics, absolutely cleaned up on anything that swum up in these waters, as you would expect it to. Yeah, Mornington was just bloody awesome. It was every day, something different, just fish after fish, species after species. Yeah, it was pretty epic stuff. This is a nice little bar cheek coral trout. This is when I just started putting the GoPro on the gunnel. Didn't really find my groove yet. Chucking stuff around. But yeah, you take it from here, Liam.
Check that one out. Nice little trout on the Z-Man. Cracker. Go hard around this shallow reef. I'm in a couple of metres of water. Bommies everywhere. Getting fish like that.
Moving on, number 7. Now we're back in the canoe here, fishing at Brim Lake. This is one of our old stomping grounds. I used to do a lot of this stuff when I was a young fella. Canoe on the roof, didn't have a boat yet, just lakes, pond hopping. Here we go, he's on. This is one of our big Brim Lakes. This place just produced giants. Like, it was just massive fish. Lake fish, little heads, big bodies, just proper giants. Now I love this stuff. I used to froth on this. We used to just fish any lake we could. We had the old Refidex out. We didn't have Google. Just like find a little blue blob in a Refidex somewhere and just go, yep, that's got to be worth a fish. And then just drive around, yeah, finding spots to access. Yeah, we used to love it. Here we go. How's that for a brim? Not one of the biggest ones out of there, but solid fish. That's on the Eco Gear Paramax worm. I love those baits. Love that light watermelon colour. Used to be so good in that clear water just around that weed. Awesome capture. Here we go, number 6. Alright, we've still got the sound down on this one. Same deal, had copyrighted music on there. But just fishing big plastics out at the mouth of the jumping pin. Had an epic session. This is September, a few years back now. It was pretty hot, stinking hot day, but yeah, I think we got about 5 dewies, and this was the best one. Took the bait right on the slack tide, right on the bottom of the low. Here we go, which is coming out in the net. Bam! Nah, not happy with the size of the net there, mate. Here we go. Can we? Nah, still doesn't like that net. This was awesome. This fish was, this was my PB for a year or two after this. This was mad. Here we go. Get him in, yes! As you can see, I started to do a bit more with the GoPro here, picking it up, getting a few different angles. Yeah, that was a mad capture. I was super chuffed with that thing. We both were. And she went back. Happy days. The halfway mark, number 5. Here we go. Here's another bit of Brim Lake action. I got no sound here again. I had the waterproof housing on, so there's a little bit of sound there, but we're doing some underwater stuff, so yeah, it didn't quite turn out that well. But as you can see here, I've just held a fish up for the camera. Old mate in the background there, he's got a fish following. And bam, he takes that bait. Dump. Pulled the hooks. This was a mad session. Throwing Maracoo crabs and Eco Gear Aqua, just BP 50s. Here we go. He's got that same fish following his fish again. Bam. Stick the hook in him this time. This was an epic session. We had incoming tide. You can see the ripples down in that bottom right-hand corner. That's the water pushing through these rocks. There's a heap of gaps there, a heap of water coming through, and these fish were just stacked along this wall. They were just feeding hard. This is one of those sessions where it was just a fish a cast, pulled hooks, bust-offs, big fish. Look at that. Massive lake fish, little head, big body, BP 50 in its gob. Awesome capture. Love my brim fishing. Okay, here we go, number 4. Now this takes place in about 130 odd metres of water over some wrecks off Cape Morton. Now this one made it into my little highlights reel purely because of the angle. I had a bit of a play around, made a little pole up. It doesn't make for the best footage, as I found out. Oh, he's on there, so we're just jigging for kingies and AJs. But yeah, the pole worked, but then you don't get any of that face-to-face or any sound over the reel. Again, it's in the waterproof casing. I learnt that that's not the best way to film, but this is still pretty mad footage. Just that mad fisheye view, up and down. So this is a kingy for memory. Not a huge king. Got a heap of these guys this day. They were stacked up. Just fishing, I think we were fishing 250-gram jigs in that depth of water. 50-pound gear. Getting them down all right. There we go. Little yellowtail king. That's pretty cool. Just love that little view. Fisheye view. Look at that curvy bit on the edge. I enjoyed it. That's why that one's in there. Down to number 3. Alright, this one's from the waters around the Cairns area. I lived up there for a while, did a heap of JP fishing. I love this stuff. Look at the places it takes you. The rainforest streams, clear water, just epic country. Eco Gear's PX55, just smash the JPs. Look at this capture right here. This is absolutely one of my highlights. Look at this. 2 JPs, 1 lure. That is so cool. These fish, man, they're just feisty, smart, cunning. They see you coming a mile away. You've really got to stalk up and stealth up on them. And, yeah, challenging species, but, yeah, awesome. Definitely one of my highlights. Check that out. That is so cool. Awesome fish. Mad. And we're down to number 2. All right, this is from back up at Mornington Island. Obviously, the boys are in the boat for this session. This is some rocky headland we found. Massive run-out tide here, 9-hour run-out tide up in the Gulf. It's crazy. But as the water just fell off these rocks, these barra just switched on hard. We got like 18 fish for the day, and just epic, mate. Like bust-offs, jump-offs, pulled hooks, thrown lures, just crazy stuff. This one was on spoontail shad. Yeah, this was the first fish actually. Rocked up, see those rocks there? We just started creeping in, and yeah, this guy grabbed hold. Didn't know it at the time, but this was absolutely the start of one of the most craziest sessions we had up there. Hard bodies, plastics, didn't matter what you threw, they were all over it. It was actually just crazy. There we go. Little barra, not a huge barra, but like I said, just memorable trip. Craziest footage, craziest study country, just yeah. Alright, here we go, number 1. This bit of footage takes place a few years back in the top of the Brizzy River under Wivenhoe. My cousin's fishing surface. There he goes, he's on. This is a solid fish. Starts taking drag instantly. You can see me laughing there. He said, "Didn't you tighten my drag?" I bloody tied the lure on for him. He expects me to tighten his drag. Fishes once every 2 years, this bloke, and yeah, not the greatest angler, but hey. Here we go, he's got this fish coming into the canoe. My brother's there, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you land it. Yeah, just slide it over here." Oh yeah, okay, so he'll grab it. He's half asleep, he's not ready for what's going to happen. Fish kicks, bam, rod, side of the canoe, braid, gone. And everyone's sitting there scratching their head going, you, blaming each other. Let's see it again. Oh yeah, I'll help. Oh, fish down, bam, braid, gone. So that's my number one. That was good fun. Here we go, all over. See you later. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, throw us a like or comment. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys.